you see everyone okay?
I do. You guys look marvelous this morning.
Well, thank you. All right, so we just finished watching your documentary, I Will Not Leave. And so we're just gonna kind of go through some questions, either pertaining to the documentary or to you as well. So I'll go ahead and lead off by asking, how does one work up enough courage to ask the Prime Minister of Rwanda to save the children of the orphanage from the massacre?
The first word that comes to my mind isn't exactly courage. I would say more desperation. It was, it was, as you saw in film, it's really hard to believe. I still think back on that. That's one of the things that sticks in my head most powerfully was just the fear. And so fear and desperation are more, to me, more appropriate words for that situation. I think I love that image of the secretary. Remember, she's sitting there kind of pointing one direction, and in the background they have the face of the prime minister who is killed and the face of the current prime minister. I think about that lately, and I think that's one of the parts of this story was her advice. And you know, secretaries often know a lot more than anybody else in the building. and this woman, yeah, she had that depth. So honestly, yeah, again, I'm not sure that I would say it. Listening to the lady and then simply being present and then not underestimate the power of the task. Just to simply ask. I think so much more power there than we often think of. So yeah, I would love this to be interactive if that makes sense. If you have a question, I'll from that or anything, please don't hesitate.
All right. I'll go ahead and open the floor up to anyone. Okay.
You have questions?
Questions? Yeah. Right out here.
Here. All right. How did you decide who to go to supplies for, and who you negotiate your deals with?
How did I decide which part?
Who to go to? How did you decide which thieves you could trust and which ones you couldn't trust, basically, when making your deals?
Sorry, just distracted for a moment. Yeah, repeat the question for me, please.
So it goes, with being alone, how did you decide who to go to for supplies and to negotiate deals that were made? Because you were doing a lot of thieves and murderers.
Sure. No, that's a great question. You know, I'm a visual learner, so let me pop a couple of pictures up here on the screen. I start a little bit of screen sharing. Let's see, did I open my photos yet? Come around in a minute. I think this picture may have been in the documentary. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to just pop it up on the screen for you for a minute. Are you seeing this picture yet of five of us sitting around the dining table?
Yes.
Okay, so this, you know, the young lady with the red blouse there is the young lady who lived and worked in our home. She was at the center of our decision to stay. And the young man with the striped shirt, remember those are the two people we talked about. But on the other side of the table, the pastor and his wife, they were on the screen for a quick moment during that film. But this is morning prayers at our house. We would take off many mornings. We weren't able to do it every morning, but many mornings we would start out together. And I just want you to kind of visualize this man here, who's on the other side of the table. He is just an invaluable source of wisdom. He has been through many life experiences already in the Belgian Congo, Zaire, and what is now called Democratic Republic of Congo. he's been through many experiences in Rwanda itself, including, at the time of independence with the young man in Rwanda. So I just want to pop this picture up and I'll come back here to shut down our screen sharing. But he is an enormous influence in what I'm going to do. He's the one who said, Carl, if we're going to make any difference, gotta build relationships with people in power. Every evening when I would come back home, I would be bouncing ideas off of him, telling him what I found in the city. He went with me, as you saw in film, that very first time. But while we were gone, some people came to the house to kill the young man and young lady. And his wife, Phoebe is her name. Phoebe said, there's no way the two of you are ever going to leave together again. You cannot leave me here alone. And so much of the rest of the time, I would go out enough for one with me, but rarely with the pastor. But he definitely had that sounding board in terms of what is a good strategy. I would say anybody else other than him, definitely my two wanted workers, us, Yasikwa, would be great sources. And then Colonel himself gave me the travel permit. I would explain the problems to him, and he would have ideas. So I hope that makes that response to the question.
Yeah.
How did he like get to where he was? Like, he said he moved to Rwanda with his family, and started a life there. Like, how did he get to make that decision, and why did he make the decision to live in Rwanda, and like, how did he got his job there?
Right, so what took you to Rwanda in the first place?
Yeah.
Out of college, what decisions
Sure.
were you making? What prompted you to go?
You may remember that image at the beginning of the film. I had this wonderful service learning program at my college. And so it goes really fast at the beginning of the film, but in 1978, I went to South Africa as a college volunteer. And that was definitely the fallen in love stage. I think everybody wants to make a difference. Everybody wants to be somewhere where they can make a difference. I felt like I could contribute there. I also loved innovation and the challenges that the developing nations put forth to us. And so, and even for that, it would be a book of reading stories about missionaries, and adventure would be an enormous part of this. And so when I got my training as a high school shop teacher, auto mechanics, welding stuff, that's when I said, okay, we can go back and make a difference with this. And came back home after 6 years, got an MBA. Always the job pathway for me at that point was through church. I've been the Seventh-day Adventist church. And we, after the first years in Zimbabwe and Zambia, we think about maybe working somewhere in Southeast Asia. We kind of look around at different places, but we're always drawn back to Africa. And then I saw this job opportunity in Rwanda, went to the library before internet days, and just saw this amazing country, and the job looked like a great fit that I love to do. I love working with my hands, love the development. I just got this MBA, and so it just looked like a good fit. But it's, summer. It was through that channel that I grew up in. And I think different people now that are looking for pathways, one I encourage is just building relationships with people at your universities in different countries. You get your foot in the door more often than not is the people that you meet, and then following up on those relationships.
Do you still, or have you had any contacts with any of the children from the orphanage that you helped out?
You bet. Let me again show you a picture. I was just there this last summer with a group of high school teachers. And on one, we were there for about 10 days. On the Sunday, in the middle of the trip, one of the young men that I've been in touch with on a regular basis, and he actually had a one for scholarship to Texas. I think I've got his face down here a little bit farther. Yeah, here it is. He was just 9 years old at the time. Today, he works in the mission fighting against genocide in Rwanda. He has a very powerful story on his own. But he said to me, "Paul, once we come to the orphanage, a few people will be there." And I said, "Well, great, I'm gonna go with the teachers. I want them to show them the orphanage." And so Johnson gave a really wonderful tour around the orphanage. But when I got there, I found out it was kind of a surprise party. And these are just a few of some of the people. We stayed there for a couple of hours. You can see this picture, okay? Yeah, we stayed there for several hours until it got dark, and then at the end we're like, "Oh, we need a group photos. We can't go inside." Somebody turned up the headlights of the car. Other people were holding up their flashlights from cell phones. And I can go through this, on the left here's Pat. He was up a year old at the time of the genocide. Next to him is Oliver. The young lady with the love teacher is Sandra. Some of these women on the other side, they would say, "We want to meet your wife. We want to why she made that decision. We had just one conversation at evening." Because some of them I knew from times past, others I hadn't met. They were full of questions. Some of them had like this look over here, but I think we caught in his pose. we had their grandkids with them. And on previous visits, I met up with different ones. One lady with a wedding planner. She pulls out her iPad and she starts showing pictures of her recent wedding events. It is a really, here. It's really inspiring to be able to be there with them. And it's tempting at times to think for now, and while things are amazingly, progress is proved amazingly fast, and there is so much security, such a low crime rate. Physically, yeah, opportunities, business, and education, but still, it's filling up the heart. It's something that is going to be many generations, would say, in Rwanda. And even physically, there's people that face the challenge when you're the only one to survive your family. You go looking for a job. Often it's family members or friends of family members that open some of our first doors to finding work and the things. So the challenges are still really enormous.
While you were there working the genocide, were you actively working with the United States or the United Nations to gain support politically?
No, nothing political during that time, and no real official connection with the United States. Laura Lane, who you saw in the film, she very generously stayed in touch with Teresa. Teresa, if Carl changes his mind, we'll find a helicopter, we'll find something to come out of there. Not sure what she might have been able to do, but I know she's a former. I would have come up with something. But I did work with the humanitarian group of the UN, mostly though for logistics. They would help me get some cooking oil or some high protein sticks. She saw in the film, Teresa, I was able to send money through the UN flights. She sent me a big solar panel to charge my car battery with, through that. I would use the car battery for the radio and other things in the house. But politically, I was walking a really fine line, trying not to be identified as sympathizer with the disease. Obviously, your sympathies with people for being killed, but at this moment, this time, had to walk a really fine line and try to get a low profile.
We have time for one more question.
And I hope, yeah, one more question, and I want you also, okay, let's do this question. And then, I just want to pop up one picture on the screen for you about Rwanda's rehabilitation today, and especially about what do you do with all the people. We won't have time to get into that, I'll at least pop a picture up there. But was there one last question?
So my last question was, do you harbor any resentment towards the US or the UN or any other governments who failed to respond, pretty much?
Yeah, I did for a long time. In Goes to Rwanda, you'll see I'm talking about some of that anger. And because we're short of time, I'll just tell you, last Friday, I had a chance to speak at the UN at a commemoration. And if you get online, you can probably, I know you can, you type in UN 2017 commemoration, you'll see it. I had 6 minutes. And a good chunk of that 6 minutes was me confessing to being angry and defining the UN by their decisions. But I also, it was really valuable because I made the decision before I went there, I'm gonna leave my anger and resentment here at the UN. And so this idea of reframing institutions and reframing people, if you get a chance, that's what most of the 6 minutes talked about last Friday at the UN. We're out of time. I wanted to show you this one picture. When I was in Rwanda a year and a half ago, summer 2015. Are pictures here on the screen? Okay. Right here, we have more time to let you use your imagination initially, figure out what's going on in this picture. But since we have time, I'll tell you straight up. These are high school kids talking, 200 men and women confess to killing neighbors. And so it's a bird camp with no wall. The prisoners are being given a chance to reinvent themselves. You ask a God, some people run away or escape, but they kind of laugh and attempt. We give them 10 days every year to go home for a wedding or a funeral. The restorative justice project in Rwanda, it's an incredibly inspiring story. Not perfect, no, but incredibly inspiring nonetheless. All different levels of success. So this could be another time we can have a conversation, and honestly, if any of you ever wanted to just Skype with me to get the conversation, don't feel like you're bugging at all. As you can tell, I'm really grateful for opportunities. Let's see how do I turn on the screen share. Really grateful for opportunities to share some of this stories, to explore still what's happening on this. So you can easily find me on Facebook, carl.wilkins@yahoo.com. This is all my last name, right? And we can touch easily. So I hope I can cross paths next time. And thank you guys very much for the chance to join us today. Be on that.
As she's closing up, so we'll go ahead and close up here, but just a reminder, Paul, Matt.
All right, so just want to thank everyone for coming out and being able to take part in this event with us. Just a quick reminder of the other events that are going on as part of this big question forum. We have Tim Ballard at 1 p.m. And then also we have John Pendergast at 7 to 8:30 at the South City campus on Thursday. And don't forget to pick up a cupcake on the way out. And just want to thank everyone again for coming.